Well, that's why you need to read Better Times Ahead, April Fool. Are we really looking at better times ahead for America or April Fool? If you've read the book, you'll know what it means. Really depends on us, totally us. I found that I had to reinvent myself several times during my career, being laid off and having to deal with realities. America will have to do the same thing to prosper in the decades ahead now that we're entering a global high-tech 21st century. America needs an agenda for greatness to regain the success we have had in the past. The lights are blinking red on our continued technology leadership, yet our national and state leadership are cutting the things that we need to win the 21st century global economy and technology race. Even the Chinese are planning on putting their own space station in orbit, while ours is getting ready to retire. Theirs will be brand new. We must advance or fall behind. We have not been investing in our future. Our own Congress is sitting on its can while we have bridges in America, including one over Lake Charles, Louisiana, that is about to fall into the water because it's not been repaired. Creating jobs for Americans. Many Americans may not be aware of the problem because of a simple fact. Only 1 in 5 Americans have a passport. That means they really haven't been to other countries that we share this planet with and seen the actual situation. Phrases like, we are the best, we're number one, often total confidence, yes, not based on facts, because you haven't been there. As someone who has been in now nearly 50 countries on real business, not as a tourist, not just, because dad sent me there on a junket or congressional political junket, you know what I mean? Real deals from the Fortune 500 at the top in the beginning to a little guy at the end. I can make that comparison and have a very good idea of what we need to do and what we're up against, because I've seen it out there in the past 3 decades, beginning with the Fortune 500 and as an entrepreneur. And here is what we have to do. Here is what the situation is. And here's what we then have to do to succeed, for America to succeed in the global 21st century. In the year 2000, America was number 1 in education. By the year 2008, America had dropped to number 9 in education, number 12 among developed countries in college graduation, and 79th in elementary school enrollment. U.S. students rank 11th in science, 9th in math in the world, falling behind both Asia and Europe. The average age of American schools is 40 years. Of the 172 democracies in the world, the United States, yes, is a very old one, but we rank 139th in voter participation. Shocking. Barely a third of Americans can name the 3 branches of government. President, executive, yes, Congress, and judicial. Barely a third can name those 3 branches. That's pretty bad. More than half of college seniors recently flunked a civic literacy exam, and half of U.S. states civics education is not even required in high school. Now, I ask you, how do we lead the world when we know nothing and are not challenging ourselves? Life expectancy at birth for American men was over 75 years of age and 80 for women in 2007. We were 36th and 33rd in the world in each of those categories. Not number 1. In Texas, 25%, a fourth of our residents do not even have health insurance. One of the worst rankings in the entire United States. This is another example. Our infrastructure is falling apart. We are not investing in it. Congress is sitting on its duff while we have and recently experienced, remember the bridge over the Mississippi River that we waited for it to fall into, not we, they waited until it fell into the Mississippi with commuters on it for lack of repairs. Now, is that a way to, you die before you fix it? That's not exactly a strategy that I don't think connotes leadership, forward thinking. Our infrastructure is now number 23 in the world. American infrastructure, number 23 in the world, not number 1, as it should be. This has been falling off because we've been investing in other things, but not our infrastructure, our education, our future to stay in the lead. Meanwhile, China, rising China of India, both of these subjects I have long experience with, as pointed out in Better Times Ahead, April Fool. It has the first maglev system, China, in the world. We have rickety old trains. China has modern 21st century maglev, magnetic levitation train, not even touching tracks. Actually, it's safer because rail on rail at high speed is really dangerous, but a magnet floating above a magnet at high speed is very safe, and over 260 miles an hour commuting times, and while our rail system is rocking and falling apart. This is not how we win the 21st century, fellow Americans. I can tell you this. I will tell you this honestly, whether I'm running for office or not, that you need to hear it, because you're not hearing it from anybody who is running for office. So if you are, you're not listening. Europe is already using a more advanced smart card than the U.S. We still have the stupid magnet strip, where's mine? Yeah, easily sabotage, versus the European smart card that prevents fraud. So there you are. South Korea has internet speeds 8 times faster than American internet speeds. The United States continues to lag other nations in its use of computing and communications technology, believe it or not, when we rank fifth, not number 1, as we would assume, right? Stay tuned for the next part of Better Times Ahead, April Fool by Michael Fjetland, and find out what else is going on in the world and how, in the end, we can win this race.